Joining us now is Frank Aquila, a partner with Sullivan and Cromwell. Now, Frank specializes in mergers and acquisitions, and he's worked on some of the world's biggest and most recent deals, including Diageo's sale of Burger King and the Pillsbury General Mills merger. Frank, always great to see you.
Good to see you,
So you shot me an email last night saying, hey, isn't it interesting that Spain is making an acquisition in the U.S. given the times? First of all, watch what you wish for, right? Emailing a reporter on a Sunday night. But why is this significant, and why are you so surprised?
Well, I think we've talked about this in the past, and that is that M&A activity has really been down in Europe as compared to the U.S. and the rest of the world. But I think the uncertainty over the last few weeks in the EUROZONE, particularly in a country like Spain, would make you think that there's going to be little M&A activity there. And that's why I sort of reacted to it and shot you that email. But when you look at it, it really makes a tremendous amount of logic that they're going forward with this.
So let me follow up with this. So does this particular deal in the healthcare industry circumvent the problems of unemployment, real estate, the sovereign debt crisis? I mean, the fear alone, the psychological idea of a Spanish company making a huge deal, $3.4 billion in value, right, in the U.S. I mean, the companies or the banks that are financing, the list is very long, and we can go through that angle of it in a moment. But, I mean, why aren't these people why is the confidence there?
Well, I think, Lori, if you remember early last year when the markets were really poor all over the world, we saw two of the biggest deals, and they were in healthcare. Pfizer acquiring Wyeth, and then on the heels of that, Merck acquired Schering-Plough. And the story that we talked about back in February, March of '09 was how, despite how bad the economy may be, healthcare is a safe haven. It's an industry that's going to consolidate. It's clearly an industry that's growing. And for a Spanish company, this gives them a much broader platform globally. It gives them more products globally, and it puts them in a much better position to compete with the big two, CSL and Baxter International, in plasma products.
Would you expect consolidation to expand across the Eurozone given the economic troubles there?
Well, to a certain extent, I think there's probably a lot of people really wondering about that. When the euro was created, the expectation was there'd be a lot of pan-European M&A. To a certain extent, a lot of that has been stunted by the fact that a lot of the European governments have really preferred to have national champions rather than European champions in particular industries. And so it's really stilted that a bit. I suspect that if the euro stays together, we will see a further integration of the economy. If the euro splits up, I think you're not going to see much activity there at all for a while.
So let's get back to this Grifols deal. I want to read you this list of lenders. I mean, it's really impressive, just the length alone. Deutsche Bank, Nomura Holdings, Banco Bilbao, Vizcaya Argentaria, sorry for my pronunciation, BNP Paribas, HSBC, Morgan Stanley. So why are these banks, again, why are they so confident? I mean, I guess it gets back to the argument you just stated, but is it a confident story, or is it because the list is so long of financiers that they're like, okay, we'll all go in, and this is sort of the structure of private equity, which I know was involved with a Cerberus interest?
Right. I think there's two factors at work here. One is this is truly a global deal. Their financing package is global. It's a pretty highly leveraged company. It's going to be 4 times EBITDA, which in today's
earnings before interest, taxes, amortization, blah blah blah.
Right, and 3 years ago that wouldn't have been too high of a margin. Today that's fairly high, but it's healthcare, and revenues are pretty constant. Cash flow is very, very good, and so this is probably a loan that's going to be paid down relatively quickly. It's going to be very accretive to shareholders. It really is. It appears on paper to be a good combination.
All right, so with Grifols, too, you have to think, gosh, this was smart on their end, so they don't have to be so dependent on the troubles in Eurozone, and they can take advantage of the revenue story here in the U.S. with our recovering economy here.
That's right, and I'm sure that since they're paying in dollars, that lending is in dollars, and they'll pay it back in dollars. So to a certain extent, this deal is not really exposed to the euro the way you would think it would be.
Frank Aquila, Senior Partner at Sullivan & Cromwell, thanks for the conversation today.
Good to see you, Lori.